All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the Texas Association of College Admissions Counseling Fair. We are so excited that you're here with us. We are going to be hearing from some amazing institutions from the great state of Colorado. And so please get excited for that. Just a few housekeeping items. You have the ability to ask questions. We are in a Zoom webinar, so we cannot see or hear you, but you can utilize the Q&A feature in order to ask questions of any of our colleges or universities joining us. Please make sure to direct that question specifically to the school you're wanting to hear from, unless you're wanting to hear from all six. As a reminder, there are more sessions happening both this evening as well as tomorrow, and so please feel free to sign up for more of those. And we will have recordings of all of our sessions available after this as well within about a week or so. So just wanted to give a quick little overview. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and we are now going to hear from our first institution, which is going to be Colorado College.
So thank you. Let's see. And James, yep, cool. There it is. Sorry, just 1 second. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dylan Sanchez. I'm an assistant director of admission here at Colorado College. I'll briefly walk you through our campus today. And for those of you that have not had the chance to visit Colorado before, I'll start by saying welcome. And I'll say, start by saying that Colorado College is located in the heart of Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're about 45 minutes to an hour south of Denver, depending on I-25 traffic. But campus itself is about 5 minutes north of the downtown Colorado Springs area. And you will see our students taking long walks to the local community and restaurants, especially on days like today when the sun is shining. But that's a pretty common occurrence nowadays when you consider our campus sees about 300 days of sunshine a year on average. But I've lived in Colorado my whole life, so I know what to expect when it comes to snowstorms, and Colorado College is not exempt from that. But a little bit of kind of moving into the campus itself. CC is small. We're a private institution. We offer 42 majors to roughly 2,300 students. And that means our classrooms are really small. So our classes are capped at about 25 students, but it is rare to see students nowadays see the classrooms kind of rise to those numbers. We typically see our classrooms around 16 students on average, but it's not uncommon to see students in single digits or 5 to 6 students in a classroom. But what does that mean for your relationship? Well, obviously that means you're going to grow really close to your peers and professors. But the biggest reason for that, or the biggest reason that stands out for us, is because of the way that we teach our classes, and that is in this block plan model. So we take our courses one at a time. No more English papers, math homework, chemistry projects, all due on the same day. You'll focus on one subject area at a time for 3.5 weeks. So that does mean your work will be a bit intensive at times, but our entire college is in this class at the same time, and our entire college focuses on this at the same time. So 2,300 students are in class from 9 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. So you don't have to have that fear of missing out, and you don't have to worry about building your class schedule every year. It's going to be just about the same for everybody across the board. So no more missing those dodgeball tournaments because you were in class and your friends weren't, right? But at noon, all those classes are released. All the students can live their college life just the ways they envisioned, but you'll be on the schedule for 3.5 weeks in the classroom. And as I mentioned, kind of at the end of the weeks, we do enjoy our block breaks together. We do everything together. So you get 4.5 days of freedom, but we'll get back to that. So the classroom is concentrated as you would expect when you're learning a semester's worth of curriculum in less than a month, but we do thrive in this environment, and we've been doing this for 50 years as of 2020. So trust us when we say this is a tried and proven formula in education. So just some quick statistics, because my parents were always so curious about things like retention rate and graduation rates and things like that. But our retention rate for freshmen is at 95%. Our 6-year graduation rate is at 87%, some of the highest in the country. 80% of our students study abroad, 50% of our students study abroad multiple times. So it's just unprecedented to see our students do these things on a yearly basis. But 100% of our students perform a field study in their area of choosing, whether that's here in the local Colorado Springs area, or if that's in another country, wherever you want to do it, we have field studies available every block course. But that's kind of enough about the academic setting. We can kind of move forward as we're, are short on time with everything. But this is our backyard. We're located here in Colorado Springs, just at the base of Pikes Peak. So we're very close to everything. We do everything together. We have a class together. We have fun together. Our graduation, everything is done together, including the popping of champagnes on the doorsteps of Cutler Hall together. One of the greatest traditions of CC. But we offer trips to the Rocky Mountains. We have clubs and organizations with limitless resources to really send you anywhere you want to go. But I'd be happy to tell you a little bit more about that. in more of a one-on-one setting. So we do offer a variety of CC presentations, virtual sessions, whether it's with students, whether it's with us directors within the program, to learn more about the application process to CC, because that is a bit more extensive as a private college. So I'd be happy to talk to you more about that. I'll go ahead and drop my email in the chat, or you can visit us at coloradocollege.edu. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And for those of you joining us, just as a reminder, you can send in questions through the Q&A function in Zoom. Just please let the specific institution know who you're wanting to hear from. That way they can best answer and assist your questions. Moving right along, we are now going to hear from Colorado Mesa University.
All right, so hello everyone, my name is Alexander and I'm from Colorado Mesa University. Jumping right into it. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen? I'm not sure.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect, thank you so much. All right, so see a little bit more about CMU. We have just over 11,000 students that come from 35 countries and 47 states. So pretty decent sized college, not too small, not too big. You can still get lost, but you're still going to have that familiarity with your professors and stuff like that. We offer over 114 majors that range from your certificate all the way up to your doctoral level degrees. So if you're passionate about something, chances are we offer that in the form of a degree or a certificate here at CMU. 88% of our classes have less than 40 students. We have 0 teaching assistants, and we have a 1-to-21 faculty to student ratio. So essentially what all that means summed up is that you're going to be able to have that very personalized connection with your professors. I attended CMU, and one of the biggest things that stood out to me was being able to make those connections, make that networking type of deal with the professors. And as long as you're putting in effort, they'll match your effort, oftentimes exceed that effort that you're putting in. So professors here really care about you, and you're more than just a number, but they're actually important to them. These are some of our most popular departments that those majors fall under. For instance, business, health sciences, social and behavioral sciences, so on and so forth. Again, we have tons of majors to choose from. So whether you know what you want to do or you don't, you can definitely find that perfect fit for you here at CMU. Another thing that's huge to us here is applied learning. Obviously, the classroom is very important, but so is getting that actual hands-on experience. So we offer that through undergraduate research, clinics, internships, so on and so forth. My degree was in criminal justice, but I did an internship with marketing and communications out here. So I was able to add over 1.5 years of experience, actual working experience, to my resume because of that internship. So again, that applied learning, that hands-on experience really makes a huge difference for students. A little bit about the city of Grand Junction. That's where we're located. So we are the western slope of Colorado, and over here we get 300 days of sunshine. I'm from Texas as well, so that's perfect for me. But you still get that kind of, snow feel that you don't get much of, and it's a really great experience. With that, 40 minutes away from the university is our nearest ski resort. They have all types of discounts for students, so if you're into or you want to get into skiing or snowboarding, that's an option. And then we have 1,200 plus miles of hiking trails. Hiking is definitely one of the most popular activities out here, so definitely recommend it. Beautiful scenery out here. Great opportunity for you to connect with the outdoors. As an incoming freshman, you are required to stay on campus. So with that, we have 13 residence halls that you can choose from with over 2,500 students. And then we also have tons of clubs and organizations and student-run events. So we want to make it, to us, it's very important for students to feel connected. So we have tons of opportunities for you to get involved in a community with like-minded individuals. We also have our study abroad program in which 52 countries participate in. And one of the cool things about that is you get to pay the same cost of attendance in whatever country you're studying abroad as you would at Colorado Mesa University. So great opportunity for students. We're a D2, NCAA D2 university, and our athletics are pretty great. When I was playing here, I played for 4 years and we won conference championship in football 3 years of those 4. Men's and women basketball, they win pretty often. Our baseball team is ranked nationally every year. So pretty great sports. If sports are important to you, then you can definitely connect in that atmosphere here. And it definitely truly is one of a kind. We also have our club sports, intramural sports. Those are also really cool, not as time demanding as the NCAA level, but still very competitive. Still gives you a chance to pursue those athletics if you would like. Again, we want to be with the student as much as we can. So we really do believe in being with you every step of the way. With that, we have our faculty advising. What that means is that you'll have a professor from your department as your advisor, and they'll make sure that you're staying on track to go ahead and graduate on time, and make sure that you're taking all the necessary courses, things like that. So just moving forward a little bit, one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on is being the third lowest tuition and fees among four-year Colorado colleges. So we understand that college is expensive, and so we want to try to help out the students as much as possible. With that, over half of our first-time incoming freshmen, they receive a merit scholarship. And I can talk more about this. I'll drop my contact information. Please feel free to reach out if you guys are interested. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And once again, just as a reminder, please continue to send in any questions that you have to the specific institutions you're wanting to hear from. Looks like we're starting to get some that come in, which is very exciting. Moving right along, we are going to go ahead and now hear from Colorado State University. And if Colorado Mesa would mind stopping their share screen, that would be great.
Well, good. I guess it's like early evening kind of dinner time for Texas. Super happy to see everybody joined in here today. My name is Kelsey Stam. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director of Visitor Services of Admissions here at Colorado State University. I'm also going to invite Colin Hill to pop on in here too, make him help me out a little bit. So Colin, do you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Colin. I'm currently a third-year student studying chemical and biological engineering, and I'm from Grapevine, Texas, so the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yes, so we make Colin come to these things because I can tell you tons of information about CSU and in general. And I also haven't been a student here since 2013. So Colin has kind of like the boots on the ground, if you will, experience of the student. So really brief overview of Colorado State University. We're actually about, if you're looking at the map, or Colorado Mesa University, sorry, I'm thinking back to a few years ago, Colorado Mesa University, we're like 4.5 hours over the mountains up towards northern Colorado. So we are about an hour north of Denver and about an hour-ish from DIA. So that's the pretty common airport that students choose to fly into from Texas, whether Dallas, Houston, Austin, small town in between. Typically, Colin, is that usually how you get here when you're not driving?
For sure, when I'm not driving, DIA is definitely the place to go to. One of the great things about it is we have a shuttle that you can actually get, you can pay a ticket for. It's actually really affordable, which is great. In general, it takes you directly from Denver International Airport and will take you right to CSU's campus in Fort Collins. Yeah,
makes it nice and easy to get around. So CSU in general, Colorado State University, we are a large public institution. So total, we have about 30,000 students on campus. That's undergraduates, that's graduate students, that's kind of the whole shebang of who's here. And we offer over 70 different majors, 250 different programs of study. And so a program of study is, right, a major, a minor, a concentration. So Colin, can you kind of briefly talk about like engineering and what that academic experience has been like?
Yeah, for sure. So as an engineering student, one of the things that I first did was took pretty general courses in the very beginning. So that means that some of the courses were going to be more like introductory science courses. There's definitely some writing courses in there as well. And in general, so there are different kinds of different concentrations of engineering. We don't necessarily call them that, but there are different majors for each one. So I'm chemical and biological. Some of my roommates have been electrical and computer. I've also had a mechanical engineering roommate before as well. So kind of different studies like that. And then once again, minor, lots of people I know have minors as well, like a Spanish minor, for example, where the idea behind that is you're just going to take a few extra courses and you're going to get basically another minor that you can add to your diploma when you graduate. And it's just a few extra classes. And then concentrations are sometimes even more specific within inside one major.
Awesome, thank you. So that's kind of the academic piece, right? You're going to be supported with advisors, whether you're pre-health, pre-vet, pre-med, engineer, liberal arts, all of that. There's just a ton of academic support at CSU. Similar to Colorado Mesa, we really value both the in-class experience and also the experiential learning, right? The getting your hands on, getting your hands dirty, building things. Sometimes, you know, if you are, let's see, Colin, what's one of your favorite experiential learning examples?
One of mine for sure was we actually had a pretty bright sunny day my freshman year. We once again 300 days of sunshine in Colorado, which is pretty great. So we went outside. We actually had a solar powered water heater, and so we spent an entire lab period where we went through working with this water heater and changing different things about it to see exactly how it would either increase or decrease how actually hot we were affecting the water. So that meant that I got to, you know, honestly be outside, hang out with friends, but also kind of play in the water and, you know, get hands on with something that I'm really interested in.
I love that. And that's just an example for engineering too. Obviously, as a big state institution, we're not necessarily specialized into one specific kind of thing. So that's the academic side. When I think about finding your right fit for college, academics is a really big part of it, but I think social fit is also another big part of it. Colin, do you want to kind of briefly give us an idea of like what campus is like? What are the people like? What is it like here in Fort Collins?
Campus in Fort Collins, first of all, is great. I love being a part of it each day. I'm super happy that I chose to come here. One of my favorite things, like to tell Texas students in general, is that, you know, how you can know if like are there gonna be other Texas students on campus. First of all, absolutely, there's lots of Texans here for sure, and you will know because they'll tell you. So this means I've definitely told a lot of people who are Texas friends as well, and so it means I have people like one of my roommates. He's from Austin, right? There are definitely people here, and that's definitely a big concern for a lot of people. It's, you know, how do I make friends? How do I go from coming from, you know, an out of state, you know, high school and then going to an out of state college? And then having to worry about like, you know, am I be able to make friends there? And the answer is absolutely. There's plenty of things they do here, you know, in terms of residence hall life, but also in terms of like campus recreation and anything like that, where there's plenty of opportunities to make friends. And thankfully for me, I've never struggled with that. And once again, having Texas like as a commonality to other students, super common. And there's even lots of students from other states as well, which is pretty great because I think about 30% of the campus is out of state, but to me, it even feels like more than that as well.
Yeah, definitely. You'll be able to find friends. There's so many different clubs and organizations, literally anything you can think about. We either have that club or you can create it. Definitely one of those kind of campuses. I think too, some of the benefits of studying at CSU in Fort Collins is the location itself. So Fort Collins, we're right on what's called the Front Range, which means the mountains are just to the west of us. So if you like to get outside or you want to learn, right? If you're a mountain biker, skier, hiker, camper, I don't know, water sports even, really all of that is within like a 15-hour drive from the center of campus. So super fun to be able to get outdoors and really embrace what a lot of you are looking for, right? Going to school in Colorado, a lot of folks really are looking for that outdoor experience. Colin, I don't know, do you like hiking, camping? Are you an outdoors guy?
Absolutely, I am. Definitely coming to Colorado, one of the biggest perks is getting to be outdoors. So that meant that 2 days ago, I was outside skiing in Eldora, which is not too far from here. So me and my roommates, we were out there having a fun time skiing. During the summer, I like to fish. I'm not a big fishing person before this, but with all the rivers, different local natural areas out here, it's been so much fun just to get outside and really explore all different kinds of things. We even have an outdoor program, which is great for helping put together different activities for students, you know, kind of explore Colorado. Sometimes that means like a day trip to Rocky Mountain National Park. Sometimes that even means a snowshoeing adventure out there as well, which was a lot of fun. That was something I did this past winter, kind of past early spring semester. Had a lot of fun doing it and picked up, you know, hopefully a new hobby.
Cool, awesome. Are we out of time, James?
Yes, just a little bit. So
sorry. I'll drop a few links for folks in the chat. If you've all got questions, Colin and I are going to be in here to help answer everything. We're looking forward to sharing more about CSU for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to our Colorado State reps, and we're rep and student. That's very nice. So again, please let us know if you have any questions of any of our institutions, and we are now going to hear from Fort Lewis College.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. My name is Alexa. I am one of the admission counselors at Fort Lewis, and I'm going to just dive right into the presentation. First off, I'm just going to give y'all a little oversight of where Fort Lewis is located. So we're located in Durango, Colorado. So here's this map of Colorado. We are in the southwest corner of Colorado. A lot of students like to know how far are we from Denver. So we're about a 6.5 to 7 hour drive from Denver. So we're not really close to Denver, really actually a lot closer to that Four Corners area. So for instance, Moab, Utah is around 3 hours away from us. We have the Grand Canyon that's around 6.5 hours away from us in Arizona. New Mexico is really close. So we're tucked right here in that southwest corner of Colorado. Little bit about Durango really quickly. Durango itself is, you can classify it as kind of a small mountain town. So around 18,000 people within city limits. We have over 300 hiking, biking trails. We're right in the San Juan National Forest. So we're surrounded by the mountains. This is the background. This is actually a background from our campus. So we're right there in the San Juan National Forest. All our students get a free bus pass as well. It's very easy to get around in Durango as well. We also do have an airport. A lot of students, especially from Texas, I'm originally from Texas as well, and a lot of students will either drive, depending on where you're from in Texas, but you can also fly as well. We have direct flights to Dallas, Fort Worth, DFW, but we can also get to Austin, Houston, etc. So you could fly to us if you wanted to. We also are firm believers, and you gotta love where you live in college, right? And clearly a lot of y'all are here because you're looking at coming to school in Colorado. It's a great place. And for us, we really want our students to enjoy everything that Colorado has to offer. So we give all of our students a free season pass for their first year to our ski resort, which is Purgatory Mountain Resorts. It's about 25 minutes outside of Durango. So again, this is a little snapshot of Durango. Now we're going to kind of dive into a little bit of the demographics of Fort Lewis, what our campus makeup is. So we sit up at around 6,800 feet in elevation. For those of y'all in Texas, you'll soon learn that everyone in Colorado loves to talk about elevation. It was something I had to get adjusted to as well. So we are up there around 6,800 feet, which is pretty similar to all the other colleges here as well. We have around 47 states represented, around 53% of our students identify as students of color as well. It's a very proud percentage that we have. We have a ton of different cultural centers and collaborations to support all of our students and our students of color. And we also have 173 Native American and Alaska Native tribes represented. We offer something called the Native American Tuition Waiver here. So we waive tuition for any student that qualifies for the waiver. So we have an amazing representation of our Native population as well. This slide is going to just kind of go over the makeup of what your classroom is going to look like. So at Fort Lewis, we're a pretty small institution. So around 3,300 students total. So what that means is your average class size is going to be around 23 students. And ultimately, our professors like to keep it at that small class size because they want to know when you're thriving, they want to know when you're struggling, they want to know when you're in class and when you're not in class. But I'm sure all of you will always be in class. I can't see you, but I'm just going to pretend that you're nodding your head, right? And so again, we're pretty small class size. It's pretty tight knit. Also, it's really great because with 23 students, you actually get to know the peers in your class as well. So you'll really be able to have that collaborative experience in your academic setting. Now, this slide is just going to briefly go over some of our areas of study. We have over 53 programs to choose from. You can find all of our different programs in depth on our website, but these are just some of the different programs. Some unique ones are going to be adventure education at Fort Lewis. We also have a really great geology program, anthropology program, our communication design, health science, engineering. But again, these are just a few of the different areas of study. And at Fort Lewis, something that we really emphasize is our experiential learning. We're firm believers in there's only so much you can learn by sitting in a lecture-based setting and flipping through a book page by page, Monday through Friday. So we want you to get outside of the classroom to learn. So these are just some examples of ways that we want you to get outside the classroom to learn. Some of our really popular ones are going to be our field study program. So that's kind of like an extended field trip that you could say. So for instance, we have our anthropology students go to Disappointment Valley every summer for about 3 weeks and learn all these different archaeological techniques and excavating techniques. We also have great study abroad programs, internships, et cetera. But again, this is kind of the staple of our academics is making sure that you're going to have classes that are outside of the classroom. We also, as our previous institution mentioned, getting involved is a great way to kind of transition from high school, from living with mom and dad, from being in Texas to now potentially being in a different state. So at Fort Lewis, we have over 60 organizations. We're also an NCAA 2 division team, sports team. So we have a variety of different varsity level sports. We also are one of the top 2 mountain biking teams in the nation. So if you're a cyclist and you're listening to this, Fort Lewis is a great place for cycling as well. And so a lot of ways to ultimately get involved on our campus. Now, really quickly, I just want to go into nitty gritty of just some of the admissions. So if there's any seniors or juniors that are listening, Fort Lewis is pretty easy application process. We have our own application on our website and it's usually $40, but I'm going to put a fee waiver code in the chat so you can use that fee waiver code. All we look for is your high school transcript. We're going to look at your cumulative GPA. ACT, SAT is optional. These are some of our awesome tuition merit-based scholarships for our students. So we base your scholarships on your cumulative high school GPA. So for out-of-state students, so if you're from Texas, which all of you are, this is our column for our out-of-state students. So it ranges from $6,000 to $10,000 per year. out-of-state tuition is around $17,000 at Fort Lewis. So if you're getting any of these scholarships, that's going to reduce your tuition significantly. And if you're awarded one of these merit-based scholarships, you receive it for all 4 years that you attend Fort Lewis as well. And you don't even have to apply. We automatically consider you for it when you submit your application and your transcript. And then this slide just kind of goes over a little bit of some other ways to save. The one that I do want to highlight on here is the Native American tuition waiver. As I mentioned, any student who qualifies, which if you're curious if you would qualify for the Native American tuition waiver, go ahead and shoot me an email. I'm going to put my contact information, but if you do, your tuition is waived and you never are responsible for paying for tuition at Fort Lewis College. But then there's just some other ways to save on here as well. Last but not least, we would love to see you on our campus. Like, as we say, seeing is believing. We would love to host you on our campus. We are open for in-person tours. So if you're looking at wanting to visit Fort Lewis, visit Durango, Colorado, definitely come and visit us. And so I'm going to put my information in that chat box. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. And just as a heads up, we have about 2 more institutions presenting, so make sure that you send in any questions if you have those. And we are now moving right along to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs.
Hi, everyone.
Sorry.
My name is Annalise. I'm with the University of Colorado Springs. So we are located just about 60 miles south of Denver. We are part of the CU system. We're the smallest of the 4 schools. So we have about 12,000 students total, 10,000 undergraduate students. We have a 16-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and we have an average class size of about 25 students. So we're considered kind of that small, medium-sized university. We do have over 60 different majors, including minors. I've listed our colleges here on this slide. But one of our most unique programs is something called a Bachelor of Innovation, or a BI. So instead of receiving a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science, we have different majors that you can receive a BI. And essentially it includes an entrepreneurship and innovation core. And then throughout your 4 years, you're going to be getting a lot of hands-on experience and working with different companies and organizations in the area. So we do have a lot of different unique things to offer. One of the big things is that you do get to do undergraduate research as a UCCS student. So a lot of the times, this is not something you're going to be able to do in your undergrad, but again, kind of that smaller, medium-sized school, you do have a lot of really great opportunities, and the professors love to talk about what you're doing. So I would just say, jump in, get involved, ask them about their work, because they love when students want to jump in on their projects. We also have internships and clinicals available as well, across a variety of different majors. Not all have internship requirements, but quite a few of them do. So I would encourage you, no matter what school you go to, get an internship, because it's really going to help you, especially after you graduate. We also have study abroad opportunities. So if you want to study abroad for 1 or 2 weeks over the summer, or go for a full year, we have opportunities for you to see the world while you're in college. We also have one of our brand new options at UCCS is our Human Physiology and Nutrition program that's hosted in our brand new Hibble Sports Performance Center. So this is something that just opened up this past year. We did partner with Ncaa Health, so we do have a clinic inside this building, as well as academic classrooms. We have state-of-the-art medical equipment too, so a lot of hands-on learning and experience. So for those of you who are interested in athletic training, pre-physical therapy, pre-med, this is going to be the building that you will get to be a part of. A couple other brand new things, we do have a new Bachelor's of Human Services degree, as well as a Bachelor of Social Work and Master of Social Work that we have started. We are an NCAA Division II school, so we do offer athletic scholarships. For those of you who aren't really at the NCAA level, we do have club sports available, as well as intramurals. So fun things like cricket, you can play with our chancellor who loves cricket, or if you like canoe battleship, or you just want to do some pickup games of basketball, volleyball, we have those all available too. One of my favorite things about UCCS is our SOL office, which stands for Student Outdoor Learning Experience. So this is a cool opportunity for those of you who want to get out and explore Colorado. I know so many of my colleagues today have shown you so many different things you can do in Colorado. which I would encourage you to get out and do, especially being from Texas. Not all of you are used to snow, but we do have some really fun snow sports you can be a part of. And the cool thing is that the SOL office also rents equipment. So if you don't want to go on a school-led trip, you can just kind of rent some equipment, go skiing or snowboarding with your friends. We have around 200 different clubs and organizations, everything from eating pizza on Fridays to watching Disney movies. If something doesn't fit your lifestyle, then you can create your own club. It just takes you and 3 other people. We do host a lot of different events, homecoming, we've had Bill Nye the Science Guy come out, so lots of things you can get involved with. One of the best ways to get involved is for you to live on campus. And as out-of-state students, you will be required to live on campus your very first year. But we only have suite style dorms and your first year is all inclusive. So you get a free meal plan as well as a parking pass and free laundry. You're also going to be paired with an academic advisor. So we do want to set you up for success so that you have those opportunities to make sure you graduate on time. We have a lot of different things like our Excel centers. We have a recreation center as well as a wellness center. So we believe in all around holistic health, which does include a counseling center and our recreation center too. We do have opportunities for students to get merit-based awards. So one of the big ones is a PEAK award. This is only for out-of-state students as well as our presidential scholarship. I can talk to you more about these in detail. I'll throw my information in the chat afterwards. And then we also have rolling admission at UCCS, so there's no strict application deadline. We are test optional for the 2021 year, and it has not been decided whether we're test optional for 2022, so kind of keep your ear out for that. But otherwise, if you do have any questions, feel free to let me know, and thank you all for listening today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, we are now going to hear from the University of Northern Colorado.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ty with the University of Northern Colorado. Just want to make sure everyone can see this. I'm going to do the impossible, and I'm going to attempt to run through a normally 20-minute presentation in 6 minutes. So let's go. A little bit about UNC, our average class size, you've been hearing that a lot. Our average class size at UNC is about 27 students with a 17-to-1 faculty to student ratio. So, similar to a lot of the schools that you've heard from, we really do value the interactions that our students have with their faculty, which really gives them a lot of opportunities to do kind of this hands-on experience, professional development, and volunteer opportunities. About 72% of our students are involved in some sort of experiential learning kind of thing. And so that is something that we really value in our education. And because UNC originated back in the late 1800s, we also have a fairly large alumni family with over 130,000 alumni. And similar to UCCS, we also have a student population of about 12,000 students. We originated as a normal school, which means our only major originally was teacher education. We were a school meant to teach teachers, and now we've expanded to have over 100 undergraduate programs, including both majors and minors, certificate programs, and others. So we have about 50% of our students on campus are first generation. And so we kind of really value that as well. And so because of that, we really value this kind of experiential learning, which also you've heard a lot about, which has to do with involving our students in community service, internships, and research opportunities. Again, I kind of threw out that statistic earlier where about 72% of our students participate in some sort of community engagement within their classes. And that's kind of built into the curriculum. We have, actually, this has expanded a little bit. So we have a little over 32 resource and cultural centers based in student identities and also based in just kind of general resources that we can provide. For example, our Career Readiness Center, they can help with anything related to getting a job. So writing a resume, writing a cover letter, actually finding jobs, networking, and all of these various things. And that's open for all of our students. And then we have our cultural centers, which are really related to student identity. So for example, our Asian Pacific American Student Services, our Cesar Chavez Cultural Center, Marcus Garvey Cultural Center, and Native American Student Services. That is definitely not all encompassing, obviously, of all the cultural centers that we offer. We also have an LGBTQ cultural center on campus as well. And so they do kind of a lot of programming around that identity and really building that into the intersection of identities as well. We have over 150 student clubs and organizations on campus, ranging from things like a pie eating club, like special interest clubs, to academic clubs like honor societies, math club, debate club, and then also our Greek life. So fraternity and sorority life is also available at UNC. And in that lower left picture, you'll kind of see our yoga club at work. And so definitely something for kind of all of our students to consider, a lot of things for them to really kind of engage in and work with. We have 17 Division I NCAA teams. You'll see here our basketball team, our football team. So we definitely are competing kind of at that highest level. They're traveling nationally. They're on television. It's really cool to cheer on your fellow Bears. But if you're not quite at that level, we also, again, have our intramural and club sports. One of our most popular is something called Battleship, where they kind of get in these kayaks, and then the goal is to sink each other's kayak by like filling it with water. So that's kind of one of our popular club sports. And so that's how a lot of our students really like to engage, like on the weekends with their friends. They can just kind of sign up and do kind of something fun like that. UNC is located in Greeley, Colorado, which is about an hour and 15 minutes if you're driving the speed limit, northeast of Denver. About 90 minutes to the west is Rocky Mountain National Park, which I unfortunately have not had the pleasure of seeing yet because I've only been in Colorado for 7 months and it was on fire for a hot minute, but it's no longer on fire. And so I'd love to visit when it gets a little nicer. We're about 3 hours away from kind of those big ski resorts, the winter sports. So places like Aspen, Breckenridge, things like that. And then a little over an hour to Red Rocks Amphitheater, which isn't currently doing shows, obviously due to COVID, but they actually plan on resuming those back in the fall. So that's a really popular venue. Again, another place that I haven't had the pleasure of viewing, but students seem to love it. So we do require out-of-state students to live on campus. So we do have 17 residence halls, about 3,000 students living on campus. We have these residential learning communities, which actually changed their name to residential connections, where you can kind of opt in to live with people of similar majors or similar interests. And then we also have various dining locations on campus. So when you live on campus as a freshman, we're also going to require you to have a meal plan. So because of that, we have various places to eat on campus, including 3 dining halls and then some retail locations like Subway, Einstein's. We have a sushi place on campus, a Munchie Mart, which is basically a gas station without the gas. You can get your gas station order minus hot Cheetos and Arizona iced tea. This is kind of looking at costs. This is an all-inclusive cost depending on where you are. So if you're in Texas, which you all are, you're considered a non-resident. So an all-inclusive per year kind of cost is going to be $38K, which obviously is not assuming any sort of financial aid or any sort of assistance there. And so that's going to include tuition, housing, meals, transportation, going out to the movies, really anything that you can consider. So that's kind of like a rough estimate of what an average out-of-state student would pay without any sort of financial aid, which is very rare because about 90% of our students receive some sort of financial aid. We have our admission-based scholarships, which are merit. So those are going to be based entirely on your high school GPA, similar to what you heard previously. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to apply for them. We automatically apply those to your account. And then we also have our UNC scholarship application, which is kind of a quick questionnaire that you fill out. And it gives you the opportunity to kind of say, are you first generation? Are you a student of color? And filling out all of these things that automatically applies you for all of the scholarships we have that you're eligible for. And then of course there's Fafsa, which you've all probably heard, which gives you access to grants, loans, work study, the whole shebang. How to apply, we do have a $50 application fee, though on certain days we waive that for free application days. So October 1st, we actually have one coming up on April 1st. So if you're interested in applying and you apply on that day, that will be free. We will waive that. For students, you would submit your transcripts. We're actually test optional, so we're not going to request any test scores, SAT or ACT. And we do have 2 different applications. So the Common App, which is for if you plan on applying to a bunch of different colleges, and then the Bear App, which is if you really love UNC, you can come and do the Bear App. It takes like 15, 20 minutes. And that's kind of everything. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to share my contact information in the chat so that you can see that. And I think we're going to have like some time for a little bit of Q&A now. So.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much to all of our representatives for joining us. And so I want to invite everybody to turn on your camera, and we'll go in the order that we presented. And so the question we want to pose to you tonight is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? So we will start with Colorado College.
Yeah, cool. So I kind of briefly alluded to it in my presentation, but the popping of champagne at graduation has to be one of the most popular events for at Colorado College. Every senior gets a bottle of champagne by us as part of graduation. They meet at Cutler Hall on the last day at noon, and at noon, right around 12:30, all the students will meet, pop champagne as a celebration. The bells will ring. And it's, like I said, everything at CC happens together, from class to adventures and everything else. So graduation itself is a really cool, really popular event. That kind of is something that's always something that students to look forward to every semester. I got to experience it my first time in December. So it was a really cool event for us.
I think my favorite event at CMU would have been having dinner with President Foster. That's something that he does with students, and he'll bring you over in a large group. Definitely, it was amazing to see his house and everything, and to have the president of the university be so welcoming. That's definitely one of my favorite events.
At Colorado State University, my favorite tradition is definitely going to be the bonfire that we have on campus during homecoming weekend. Homecoming weekend is also coincidentally Parents' Weekend as well. So typically that means my parents and family come up and we have a good time, and there's basically a big bonfire there. So everyone kind of stands around it together. Sometimes there's music we play, and we just get to be one big community together.
One of my favorite events at Fort Lewis is called Fiesta Mesa. It's to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month in September, and it's an amazing event full with live music, beautiful dancing, so much food, so much amazing food as well. And there's like a parade last year. We had to do obviously a little bit different because of COVID, but it's a great party. Everyone on campus comes to celebrate, and just we have an awesome time. It's one of my favorites.
So at UCCS, we have something called Blackout and Whiteout night. So it's where we go to our basketball team and cheer them on. And they have free t-shirts for everybody. It's cool because depending on which night it is, everybody's in black or everybody's in white. They've got food, they've got t-shirts. Everybody just gets really excited. We weren't able to have them this last year, but we're hoping that we're going to have them for this upcoming year.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I've been working at UNC for not even a full 7 months, which means that I came to UNC during COVID. And so I actually haven't had the option to experience a lot of our in-person events, but we are planning on being fully back in person for fall 2021. And something that has been in the talks that I'm really excited about is our new Bear Days. And so when our students move in, they have about 4 days in between when they move in to when class starts. And in those 4 days, we have chock full of programming for a lot of our new incoming students. I heard something about like, so I don't actually know the name of it, but it sounded really fun. It had something to do with like eating around UNC or something. And it's just dining around a bunch of different options at UNC and really exploring kind of our food options, which naturally, if you're a food person like I am, that seems really exciting. But it's a full 4 day of programming, and it sounds really fun. So I'm excited to actually be able to experience something at UNC so that I can report back and let people know.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. Thank you again to all of our colleges and universities from Colorado for joining us. You have students, you have their contact information. They've all provided that within the chat. So please feel free to copy that information to follow up with any questions. And then just a few quick housekeeping items. After you exit this Zoom webinar, you'll have access to just a really brief survey to let us know how your experience was. Please let us know so that we can continue to improve these virtual college fair offerings. There are going to be quite a bit more sessions happening this evening as well as tomorrow. And so please register for those so that you can hear from as many institutions as possible. And then we will have these recordings available within about a week on strivescan.com/Texas. So thank you again to everybody for joining us. Have a safe evening, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.